Dimitri Bivol defeats Canelo via unanimous decision. I told you guys that if Dimitri Bivol were to beat Canelo in my keys to victory, that he would have to push Canelo Alvarez back. You've seen in the fight that Dimitri Bivol did oppose his size. He was pushing Canelo onto the ropes and putting pressure on Canelo. He wasn't just jabbing and moving. Whenever Canelo Alvarez forced Dimitri Bivol back, he was able to pivot and gain center of the ring. And Bivol did exactly what I said he needed to do if he were to win the fight. Canelo Alvarez has fantastic head movement, but he might have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. You can see the size difference in there. That Canelo was just hitting Bivol, and Bivol was blocking the punches. Canelo was hitting Bivol, on the forearms and the arms. Nothing was really breaking through for Canelo Alvarez. But to be fair, I think we do have to give Canelo his respect because, he did challenge himself. He was seeking greatness and he's moved up several weight classes. Remember, this is a guy who started off his career as a 147 pounder. He moved up to, fought at catch weights such as 152 pounds, 153 pounds, 154 pounds. He fought at 160, 168, and now at 175. But it gets to a point where you have power, but you keep going up in weight classes. Your skill, your power is negated by the sheer size of the person you're fighting, and that's what happened and we saw today in Canelo against Dimitri Bivol. Whenever Dimitri Bivol did get hit, on the rare occasions by Canelo, a punch would break through. He was able to just absorb the punches and continue on with his game plan. The main thing for Bivol was just putting Canelo under pressure. Canelo was not used to having people push him back. Canelo had to do a lot of defensive stuff tonight, a lot of head movement, a lot of blocking. Bivol was able to gather rallies where he would throw several combination punches which would just overwhelm Canelo. Yet Canelo still did very good. You've got to ask yourself what next for Canelo. Does he want to stay at 175 pounds and fight the other top guys? Or does he go back down to 168 pounds and fight, let's say, David Benavidez? He can't really fight a Charlo because Charlo is actually not a legitimate 168 pounder. He's a 160 pounder, same as Demetrius Andrade. So I would say maybe a fight against Benavidez would be the best thing for Canelo. But yeah, guys, as I was saying, Dimitri Bivol was very composed, and you got to give him credit. He was able to move around the ring, and he pushed Canelo back when he needed to. He had a great balance in terms of offense and defense. He wasn't too defensive, but he didn't get overexcited. He was very disciplined offensively. He didn't throw too many punches when he didn't feel like he needed to throw. He threw what he needed, and then he was able to just get center of the ring and be relaxed and composed. Dimitri Bivol from now on, if he's going to be a star, I mean, surely he's going to be able to demand the big money fights, and he's just made a big name for himself, so credit where credit's due. I wonder if Dimitri Bivol has felt more power from the other 175 pounders than he felt against Canelo, because even though Canelo is a big puncher, you have to wonder that Dimitri Bivol has fought guys who are, you would say, who are naturally bigger than Canelo, so surely he's fought guys who can punch just as hard, if not harder than Canelo Alvarez, because they're just naturally bigger. That's what I was worrying about for Canelo, is like when you keep going up in the weight classes, your fear factor, your big punching power, it just diminishes because you're fighting guys who have more punch resistance and who have fought bigger guys, who have sparred bigger guys. So your power, which is elite in a lighter weight class, all of a sudden becomes ordinary. But you got to respect Canelo. You got to respect Bivol. It was a good fight. Canelo, what he has to do, in my opinion, is go back down to 168 pounds and fight David Benavidez. Or maybe Charlo might move up to 168 pounds, but we know that Charlo is a 160 pounder. So yeah, I don't know if he can just keep going up in weight because, his skill and power is just going to be negated by the sheer size advantage these light heavyweights, cruiserweights, and heavyweights have. Because I've been seeing that apparently he feels like he can, get one over Alexander Usyk, but Usyk is just way too big and Usyk is coordinated. Usyk is definitely going to have more punch resistance than Bivol. He's probably not going to be as quick, but he's going to be more powerful, and Usyk's even more slick than Bivol. So Bivol had enough power to keep Canelo Alvarez off him, though he still is definitely not the biggest puncher. You would say that they are definitely more big punches than Bivol, but I think it was fair. Canelo fights someone who's not necessarily a bigger puncher because he's moving up in weight class and he's gained, tremendous size just to fight here. So fighting someone who doesn't have as much power but who is bigger than you, makes it a more even playing field. So it is what it is. Bivol was the better man on the night. Respect to Canelo, respect to Bivol. Canelo shouldn't be upset about this. This is boxing. This happens. When you challenge yourself in life, you're going to lose. If you don't lose in life, you're probably not trying. Peace.